Yeah, it's the low life. Let's get it. I'm a New York nigga. Bust me down on that Newport nigga. Give a fuck what you thought, nigga. This is uncooked coke, not sea salt, nigga. Let's go. I roll around in big trucks. Whole crew could get like us. Nah, I don't say much out of town. This niggas always say I'm playing too much. Big band stacked up. Yeah. Keep Mac case, do act up. Cadillac truck, room back up. Cops looking for answers, but don't ask us. It's big bucks in the club. I give no fucks in the club. My cousin swiping, so we showing niggas love. And the vibe is all good, but don't get it fucked up. Get left in the club. I almost got an F in the club. Look, don't have step in the club, cause the Ruger go boom, open your chest in the club. I'm a New York, and niggas selling the crack. I'm a New York, and when niggas busting the gap. I'm a New York, and niggas know how to act. I'm from New York, and the niggas killing more rats. I'm a New York, and the niggas selling the crack. I'm a New York, and niggas busting the gap. I'm a New York, and I don't know how to act. I'm from New York, niggas.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy DJ Duya, Connected People, Qua in the building, and of course, let's get it. 345 The Mix Show. We back. What's up, y'all?
Right.
It was good.
I'm all right. Happy right now. Well, not happy, but I'm happy more for the next 3 days, man.
It's always good to have those 3 days off. I just had 3 days off, and now I got to go back to work tomorrow.
I just woke up an hour ago. Got off 2:30 last night. I mean, this morning. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we had a good weekend. We had a nice brothers and sisters night out the other night. Me and Quad Country and our ladies. We did like a date night. We went to the Zen Lounge. Shout out to the Zen Lounge. Definitely had a great time there. So maybe we could do something there going forward.
Actually, good food there too. Shout out to the chef, whoever that is.
Yep.
Definitely with some
the
good
chef
food.
up north. So yeah, man, we've been trying to get this show together for a few weeks. Quad, just elaborate on what we're gonna be talking about today.
Oh man, just a couple of things. Or they're using this word right now. I keep seeing it on social media, a plethora of things. Keep hearing it for some reason. I don't know why, but
that was always in my vocab.
Huh?
Yeah, I like saying that.
I always use that in my vocab.
Yeah, it's a plethora of things we're gonna talk about. But yeah, we're talking about I forgot what you titled it, but I'm calling it accountability in hip hop culture. What did you title it again?
Yeah, that's what I counted as the State of Hip Hop Roundtable. Accountability is the topic.
Okay, yeah. Like, we just talk about accountability, responsibility of artists, the whole situation with D1, and I forgot to send that to you because I was out too. But Jim Jones, D1, just a couple, Meek Mill, the response back and everything. We education, health, mental health, and hip hop, and just culture speaking, in the culture, not even just hip hop, just all around responsibility as, adults and hip hop artists and just the whole community. That's all. So
Can we talk about your man's pop faking like he got shot?
Nah, we're not talking about it.
That's another
thing.
I didn't name him.
That's another thing in hip hop too, man.
That's not accountability. That's buffoonery.
No, that's
right.
Accountability. He wants to be in the industry so bad. He's doing this weird stuff.
He is in the industry,
and he's also bringing up the Diddy situation, but trying to use his situation with the Diddy situation.
I'm gonna say what we're talking about again. We're talking about accountability in hip hop culture. We ain't talking about fucking Poppy and fucking Diddy. We're talking about accountability, bro.
So I wanted to introduce our each of our guests that we got on today. First, I'm gonna bring on a man, Ty Pop Wilson. He's one of the people in this in our community up here in the Kingston area, 845. He's brought multiple cultural events to the city. He's the founder of the Harambe movement. And with further ado, I could keep going on for so long, but without further ado, we'll bring him on. My man Pop, what's good, man?
Salute, bro. I'm good, man. I'm good. Good. Happy to be here with you, brothers, man.
No doubt. So the next person, we've actually had him on the show before. Another one of the individuals. He was actually, is he still? I'm not sure if he's still the president of the Harambe Association. He's put on for the community for years. One of the best businessmen that I've come across, and I've learned a lot from him as a brother and a friend. So I want to bring him on too, my man Martin Dunkley.
What's good?
It's good, fam.
How y'all doing?
Great, bro. Great. So, and our final guest, I want to thank Pop for bringing him on. This is a singer, songwriter, producer, straight out of Harlem, USA. 10 million sold. I could go on and on, man. We got my man Nutta Butta in the building. What's good, bro?
Pleasure to be here, man. Pleasure to be here.
So, this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna kind of bounce. We're gonna talk about the topics that we have in order. But if we talk over each other, then it's not gonna work. So I just ask everybody to be respectfully. I know sometimes when you have something to say right away, it could lose your train of thought, but just hold on to it and we'll let you speak on the topic as soon as possible. So just kind of walk us through it and then we'll get it started.
Just talking about accountability in hip-hop and hip-hop culture and community, and talking about responsibility as men, you know what I mean, and hip-hop, and not just hip-hop, but in the community as well, you know what I mean. So it ain't just about hip-hop artists parenting the kids, it's also the feed, the mom and the dad, taking responsibility of what the kids listen to, what the kids doing outside, inside the house, and community talk, basically like a community roundtable. So just asking questions and stuff like that, and just getting y'all views on everything we're talking about and everything. So
all right, so I'm gonna start it off with this first question. Accountability in hip hop. Are hip hop artists intentionally pushing drug use, death through their lyrics? So we're gonna kind of go in a clockwise order, but I'm gonna start with Pop, and then we'll go to Martin, and then we'll go to Nutta.
Yeah, I wouldn't say artists is intentionally doing this, man. I just think that the industry now is in a chokehold with the powers to be, and many of the storylines that we're hearing, and some of the stuff that we even known is that some of the stuff artists put out originally is not accepted, and if they don't do certain things, a lot of their music won't even be put out based on the industry that is being dictated. And that's just my personal opinion. And this is why we're seeing some of the, stuff we're seeing today, because, artists is I love what Ice Cube just spoke about this and talking about the dictation in the hip hop industry today. And I just think it's something that we should pay attention to, because it's happening, and artists are, being told what to put out there, and I think it takes away from the artistry of the artist too, because everybody may not want to do that. But if we're coming from where we're coming from, that money is a lot to a lot of us. Decisions, a lot of the parents is not involved in some of these younger artists' careers. So, we get what we get with that. So I'll leave it at that, for a minute.
Yeah. So Martin, how do you feel? You feel that they should be held, they're pushing drug use, death through their music. Do you think they should be held accountable, and why?
I think, I believe that they should always be held accountable. I think it's a two-part answer to that. I believe that as Pop just mentioned, right? Like the money always dictates, where the artist is really gonna go. But at the same time, I hold each individual accountable for, going along with the narrative or not. There are many artists that there are many artists on a grand scheme of whether you're talking about either actors or actresses that they, they say no, they're not going to play a certain part, they're not going to do certain things, they're not going to portray certain things, and they lose their money, right? But it's really up to the individual. I think everybody has to hold themselves accountable when it comes to the message that we send in. But at the same time, I think that the individuals who's taking advantage of a lot of these youth, that this is their only ticket out of the hood, or this is their only ticket to feed their family, a lot of times they're taking advantage of that, and they're having them push certain avenues. But I believe it goes both ways, bro. I always believe that, as a community, we have to hold ourselves accountable for for what we do, what we say, what we represent.
Okay. And Nutta, do you feel like these artists are intentionally pushing this drug culture and this, killing through their lyrics, and should they be held accountable?
Wow. First and foremost, I just want to say, I want to build on what both of the brothers were saying. I think they're absolutely right. So yeah, I believe that artists do intentionally do it because it's pushed as a way of life. It's pushed as the thing to do. Some artists who are young, if you let them see the last 5-10 years of music, the industry is so saturated with that, they start out believing that that's the way that you're supposed to do music. So it's a miseducation of music. It's a miseducation of culture. It's a miseducation of who you are in what your taste is, right? So, because there's an appetite. I mean, let's just be real. There's an appetite for the music that's being made, because if it wasn't an appetite for it, people would change immediately. So it's a re-education of a listener as well as an artist. You know what I mean? So there has to be a culture shift. As far as accountability is concerned, I believe young people are going to do young people things. When I was young, I threw rocks. That's just what it was. I might have threw a rock. I hit a car. I did, you know what I mean? I broke a window. Young people do young people things. It's the idea of understanding that what you do and when you do it and how you do it, there is an action and a reaction for what you do. And I don't think it's very difficult for a young person who is doing music and reaping the benefits of the music to see the destruction or the narrative that they're pushing. Because like the two brothers said earlier, you come from a place where it appears that this is the only way out. So no one is really, I can't say no one. It's very difficult to say, well, I'm not going to do it this way. That's where I'm at with that.
Okay. I just wanted to make this point before I go to Blizz, who's an artist and up and coming, and he definitely blends some of the type of music that we were speaking of in his artistries. But I would say 3 of the highest selling rap either artists or groups they don't have nothing to do with drug dealing, killing. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say drug dealing, killing, and pushing, murder through their rap. You had Run DMC, who's one of the highest selling, Outkast, who is the highest selling, and then Eminem is another high selling artist. So I say that to say this is that
I don't know why
you don't have to push those types of messages to sell records, because there's. Go ahead, Nutta.
I just want to expound on the Eminem issue. I think Eminem is an amazing artist. First and foremost, lyricist. I think he's a dope lyricist. However, if we really look at some of the things he's saying in his lyrics, I don't think you can find a black person or a brown person that would even touch on half of the things that he says in his lyrics. So there's another extreme to Eminem. And again, you know what? I'll stop there. I'll stop there.
No, because he's gonna say the same type of thing. Go ahead, Liz.
Eminem says wild shit, killing his mom and all sorts of stuff. You can't say he put him with Run DMC and Andre 3000 in that sentence.
Yeah, but he's not making it like that. He's not portraying a lifestyle of doing this. He's not saying, yo, I lived this life and I did this and I did that. He's not portraying it that way.
Bro.
He's not saying he's a real such and such.
No, he's just unbelievable because he's white. He's saying this stuff, bro. He's saying this stuff, do you? He's saying unbelievable stuff. Like, he's saying the most craziest stuff black people wouldn't even say this, like he said, on a song.
Go ahead, Pop. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want nah, but I mean, Bliss is right, Nut is right, man. He's Eminem says some of the most craziest things. A whole suicide, song he made, right? Suicide and all types of stuff. But I want to talk about, we also got to keep in account the era too, right? Because Run DMC, era, when they did Walk This Way, which kind of broke into this whole rock and roll segue with hip hop and rock and roll, the era wasn't too much of that either. When you listen to the times of the 80s, we have more of a self-destruction movement going on, with hip hop was very knowledgeable and they talking about what's going on in their actual situations. So the era does matter because the era has changed dramatically too. So we also have to keep that in accountability.
Okay. Qua, go ahead, bro.
Oh no. I think that they knowingly or unknowingly are pushing the whole thing with the drugs and the guns and the violence and the lyrics. I just think that, I don't know who said it earlier, but I think the record labels, not that they should be, I think they own half the responsibility as well, because they're for this talent to talk about this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I think that, this is my theory, the record labels, they have equity in the prison system, and, their artists, they want their artists to speak about this so they can get these young children to, march into the prisons so they can fill them up and everything. So it's like one thing is helping the other thing and everything. And I don't know if the artist knowingly or unknowingly knows this or anything like that, but I just feel like that the whole, lyrics of death and destruction and crime and everything, it can't just be just the artist's responsibility too, and to be honest too, like, I'm from Newburgh, there's not too many things happening over here for the children, so they're gonna rap about what they see and what they're living, you know what I'm saying? So there's not much unity over here or anybody like coming to save the hood or anything either, so you can't really blame the kids for rapping about what they rapping about, you know what I mean? But there's no big homies, I guess you can call them, out here that's telling them to rap positive or go to school or do something different, so I just think it's a 50-50 share for accountability.
Okay.
And even with that, if like you saying, like if big homies do talk to the kids and they're telling them do this and do that, how much of the kids is actually going to listen? You feel what I'm saying? There might be kids that listen, a little bit of kids that listen. There might be a little bit of kids that try, and there might be a little bit of kids that's acting like they trying just to please him, but they're really not happy with doing that. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody going to do what they feel like is cool at the moment. When you're that age, when you're younger in that age, because it's also going to take a little more time to learn. I'm just going off of how I felt. Like I've never had a dad, so I've always listened to people like y'all. I felt like I had to listen to people like y'all to get to like turn into a man, because I never had a man that was telling me any of this stuff. I've always seen dudes that was like OGs, but they not even living like a man. Like now I'm a man, I see what living like a man is. They was never living like that ever. It was always about stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard for us to kind of see that. You know what I mean?
There's no positive role models to, identify with, in the hood right now, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So, there's positive role models, but it seems so out of touch and everything for the kids to really mimic their life after and everything, because the rapper is so much in their face constantly, you know what I mean, that this is what they want to be. They, aspire to be the rapper, and they want to live like the rapper because, that's what they see most of the time. So
if you ask me, I think the rappers do be telling them to do good and shit like that. The rap and shit, like some of them did live that, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of them don't care to really live like that no more. But at this point, they're kind of like putting on a show, like acting type shit. But they really did come from that. But they're on some acting shit, and they can't stop because they probably feel like they're gonna lose fans or whatever the case may be. The message in the music might be wrong, but I feel like their message in real life, I don't feel like they be pushing negativity on the kids in real life. I feel like they be like get your bag. And
the lyrics alone is helping that narrative. So
yeah, but I'm saying though, I feel like they preach to them, don't listen to all the lyrics like that. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna put the negativity on them because of music, because at the end of the day, the person gonna do what they want to do.
If rap got the kids full of time, that's who they go listen to.
Go ahead, Nutta.
Yeah, I appreciate what the good brother was over there sharing. The misfortune is that your music will touch more people than your conversation.
Oh yeah, of course, because your conversation is not gonna get shared like the music's gonna get shared. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, they might be out there talking to the kids about something that's not getting shared though. That's never gonna get shared.
So I think the issue, or one of the issues, would always be is where did this first come from, and why did it become so popular? Because this didn't come, here by itself. Radio plays certain music by us that people look brown. You don't hear a lot of the other things that's pushed in totality. As an artist, as a writer, as one who's been around for a long time, one who has written for a lot of people, ghostwritten, done some amazing things. I think the most important piece is that it's not that we have it, is that it's just certain things that's just put in the forefront. So you really don't have a selection to really choose from that's in the forefront. So if you see something that's in a negative light that's shoved down your throat and pushed all the time and push, that means that you believe that that's the way to go. If I could take it back to what Run DMC and their successes, I was inspired by Run DMC. Run DMC, hearing my Adidas walk this way and just seeing how what they were doing, and then going from Run DMC to Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and all these other guys, LL, and just seeing Naughty by Nature. Then going to, I'm not doing it in chronological order, but a Tribe Called Quest, Leaders of the New School with Buster. Just music was so diverse, and you had, you had, it was a highway, and you can choose your lane. Now it appears that it's just a single lane, and it's one way that people who buy talent, who aren't talented, who buy talent, say, okay, this is the formula, and this is what you have to do. I don't know if everyone's familiar with the Leo Cohen interview where he said, you know, I got to feed my family. And he openly, that was his answer to the same question that you shared, that we all spoke. So if a music exec is put with the question and says, hey, listen, this is destruction that's being pushed in, you know, culture, vulture and all that. And he says, yo, but I got to feed my family. And there's not an uproar about it. Then that says a lot.
Can I ask a question real quick to everybody though? I just want, like, do y'all think that there's certain link between these executives being told that this is the music to look for or to put out from the, you know, the mother label for any specific reason?
It has to be because
it goes
they're only going to go for what's popping. They're only going to go. Just look at what you would call it on the sports shit. He want to put Lil Wayne on there. They know what's popping. They know what's bringing views. You know what I'm saying? It's what's trending. Anything nowadays, they're going for what's trending. You know what I mean? A person could literally be a nobody. Put something on the internet that everybody watches and shares. Next thing you know, there's somebody. They're only going for what's popping, trending. What's going to make that paper?
It's true factor. It's true factor what you're saying, Blizz, but it is a two-part, and it goes back to what you said earlier, Quad. It is a connection to the ownership of the prison system. A lot of people don't see it like that. Everything that we face in the history of us as a Black culture, everything was never presently in our face where we can see it as we see each other, like sitting here and we can clearly see. It's not designed like that. But when you sitting up here and you having artists who are being, you know, it's mandatory that you put a naked girl up in your video, you know, shaking her ass up, you know, all over the place. You flossing the money. You got the rented car. You got the rented houses. And if they being told, you know, if you don't have this, then we're not pushing this. That's an agenda, right? That's an agenda. Now it may. I said this to a person 2 days ago. For every one artist, right, who's successful in the industry with the type of tone that we're talking about right now, that is millions and millions of people that's at risk to fill in that same jail system. So we will sacrifice the one artist to get it out there and do it, because that's going to bring us millions of possibilities to keep flooding the systems of which we want. So if the system, if the system wasn't made like that, then Blizz, you can get up there and say, I want to do a gospel song that won't have no pushback.
Yeah.
But they won't do that. They won't do that for you. You know, they're gonna tell you, no, we ain't doing that. You better have some naked girls and some mansions and some affordable cars up in this joint. That's what they're gonna say. That's what sells.
But it goes back to what I was saying. Nobody gonna be sharing and viewing that, the gospel stuff. No disrespect. You feel what I'm saying? They only want what the money gonna bring. That's all they want. It's a business at the end of the day.
What you was gonna say, Martin?
I think so what we're seeing in music has been done before.
Yeah.
Right? So there's nothing that we're seeing that's new under the sun. And what I say by that, we have always been a people who we could not depend on the media, or we could not depend, no disrespect, but we couldn't depend on white folks to tell our story properly. Right? What was going on in the hood, we created hip hop as the centerfold, or the storytelling, or the news break of what's going on in the hood. So, like when you guys was talking about the different eras, right? In the beginning stages in the 70s, when hip hop came on the scene, that's why you had such a diverse telling of these stories, because that's what was going on in the hood. That's what was going on in that individual's particular life. Not every rapper can rap about gangbanging and that actually be authentic, because some of them wasn't gangbanging, right? But now when we talk about accountability, and I think that, I'm not sure if I'm hearing correctly, so if I'm saying this incorrectly, I apologize to everybody on the set. But for me personally, I'm really tired of really discussing these execs, these A&R owners, all of these individuals. Although I agree, they are the ones who's really pushing the pen and they signing the checks. But last I checked, hip hop is the most influential music genre on the planet. When it comes to fashion, when it comes to style, when it comes to trends, like what Blizz was saying, Black folks are the most influential people when it comes on the planet to actually influence in trends and styles, and this is in and this is not in. So I always have to look within in our community. If we know we have this kind of power, why are we continuing to let people who they're just there to suppress us, right? Why are we letting them dictate what we created? We don't own hip hop. The reality is that we don't own hip hop. Hip hop is not owned by us. It's created by us, but it's not owned by us, right? So when you look at now today, I hold us accountable because hip hop as a genre, it's a real genre now. So there's more opportunity to take your stuff independent, to go a different route. There's more opportunity for us in this musical genre. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I kind of feel passionate about when it comes to our community really being influenced by the things that we say, because a lot of these rappers are not living the life that they talk. I think Blizz said it. A lot of these rappers are not living the life that they're talking about.
Oh no.
Go ahead, Blizz, and then Nutta, you could go.
Listen, so I like that right there and stuff, but here's what I'm gonna say: a lot of dudes back in the day was lying.
Right.
The argument used to be back in the day that the rapper is not living what he's saying. Nowadays, the rapper is doing exactly what he's saying in his raps. You feel what I'm saying? He's basically.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yo, bro, they're basically telling on themselves every day in their raps. And here's what I wanted to ask you, because
not every rapper, bro.
Like the gangbangers and the rap and stuff. Like you as a business owner, right?
Right.
You own your business, boom. And say you was a gangbanger, you was a big homie.
Right.
Would you hire a bunch of little homies to work at your spot and show them the way to get money, blah, blah, blah?
Would I do that?
Yes.
Absolutely, I would.
Okay, boom. That's how the music industry is nowadays. Most of the people who own the labels are gang members, bro, with a lot of money, and they bringing in all the younger rappers who are also gang members. So it's like a revolving.
I'm lost.
Yeah,
Blizz, I'm trying to say, because we have to define who owns the industry.
No, not owning. I mean, like as far as like a Gucci man or a Yo Gotti and stuff like that. I don't mean the bigger.
No, what I'm talking about, Blizz, what I'm talking about is, I'm talking about the mass, bro. What I'm saying is, so yes, in every era, in every category, somebody lying. You're right. But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying that
wasn't my main. That wasn't going to be my main argument. I had something else to go with it. As far as everything is errors wise, like everything is going in different eras. Like you said, the back in the day guys, what they rapped about,
right.
Going in the Rock Him and what they were rapping about,
right.
To going in the next era, next eras. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the only reason why it's getting worse and worse, because of the things that's going on nowadays. They wasn't popping perks and stuff like that with Rock Him and them. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't think they was popularizing it, bro. I think so. Being that it was my era, right? What I'm saying is that a lot of things that was rapped about, it was even, okay, let's just say hypothetically speaking, if I was in the streets, but I was not gangbanging, and I know like my homie gangbanging, my people's gangbanging, whatever the case may be, I'm a rapper. I can give a news flash in my music about my experience. It doesn't necessarily mean that I live that life. But what I'm saying is that was a report to the people. You feel what I'm saying? Right. What I'm saying is what's different, right? What the difference that I see right now is that it's more glorified. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like the music, and you a writer. You feel what I'm saying? So I know you can attest to this. What I'm saying is that it's one thing to rap about me doing it, and that's the way to live. And it's another thing to rap about, yo, this is what's going on. This is what's going on in the hood. This is not the way to live. And my last point is this. Why I say I hold us more accountable is because even if you live that life, Blizz, even if you live that life, bro, the reality is that now a lot of these dudes is multimillionaires. They're no longer living that life. So what I'm saying is that it would be more authentic if in the beginning of your career, if you rapping about this life that you've experienced, and now you start to transition. You feel what I'm saying? You start to transition into the life that you live in. That's where I gotta hold them accountable.
Yeah. All right, so I know, Butta, you gotta go soon, but I wanted to play this clip, and then I want to get your opinion on this clip. Okay? Just give me 1 second.
Hip hop has been around for 50 years. Not a single hospital, not a single school, not a single bank, not a single supermarket, not a single distribution company. How can we call hip hop a blessing to the Black community when that type of money being made off of our culture and the community doesn't benefit from it at all? So you come to the community and give out a few turkeys. You come to the community and give out a few pair of sneakers. You come to the community and you throw a couple parties. And in exchange for some damn turkeys and chickens and some sneakers, you push death and destruction on our children for a living. And we're supposed to be okay with that because you dropped off some clothes and some turkeys. It's not acceptable until hip hop begins to be a blessing for the Black community. Hip hop is an agent of white supremacy. And then the rapper will say, well, we didn't invent violence. You're right. You didn't invent violence. There was gang banging before hip hop. Okay. There was drug dealing before hip hop. There was black on black crime before hip hop. But let me tell you where hip hop is guilty. Hip hop glamorized it. Hip hop glorified it. Hip hop put a spotlight on negative aspects of Black culture.
All facts.
Okay. I wanted you to expound on that, Butta, because I know you got to leave, and then I want you to just tell people where you can, where they can follow you, and I know the merch is going to be available soon. So just expound on what Dr. Umar said, and then also just kind of give your shout outs before you get out of here.
Wow, thank you, man. There's a lot to be unpacked, and one of the things that Dr. Umar shared about was no hospitals and things like that. But that's not solely on hip hop. That I think one of the things that we do, I mean, because it's a conversation about hip hop, so we're gonna speak on that. But right. I believe that if you just want to just look at it in the short view, absolutely. But what we have, and we can say, yeah, that it did certain things, it glorified it, put the spotlight on it, and certain things. But I think we have to look back at hip hop for where it came from and what it was. And one of the good brothers shared how it was the news reporting of certain things, and then the other brother talked about how people weren't really living that and those things. The truth of the matter is, a lot of people really aren't living that, and it's a travesty that hip hop is now a thing that you have to be real about in those things. And the truth is that when you're creating art, right? It used to be a time where art imitated life, right? What's going on? Melew when they talked about the message, broken glass everywhere. They told the story and they spoke the narrative of certain things, right? But now you have life imitating art. You follow what I'm saying? People are now as we're looking at what someone else said, and we're trying to outdo that thing because it doesn't have to be your reality or whatever. We're just gonna, because I'm the realest dude, but you're really not. I saw an interview with Fat Joe who said 95% of the things that he ever rapped about, he never did. Right?
That's
and so
thing to say.
We talk about it being that I'm sorry, brothers, my brain, I got so much on my mind that I want to say, and I know I have to leave, and I'm a little upset with myself. But being that ABC and all those things, right? But I believe now that some of the things is more like a CNN. It's communicating what I call communicating negative narrative. They're telling a story, and they're telling a story that is not necessarily true, right? Because we walk outside and we say, yo, dudes is hungry, this, I got to murder, I got to do these things, and we really don't have to, right? It's, and the brother asked, he said, would you hire some folks or whatever? Yes, we would. Business owners do hire, you know, and to not to babble, I want to say this way, Dr. Umar, he's talking real talk, but the truth of the matter is, brother, it's bigger than hip hop. It's a lot of systemic things. You know, you go for businesses, you can't get loans correctly. That brother there, you guys know business, we all know business, we understand it. Even radio is going to pump and play a certain thing because that's what it's supposed to be. But I just want to, before I go, I want to take you down the timeline real fast, if you'll allow me to. When hip hop first came out, you look at Rapper's Delight. Hip hop was way before that. We talk about Street Corner, but look at Rapper's Delight. They talked about a lot of things that they weren't living, but it was about the entertainment. Run DMC talked about a few things that they were doing, but it was still all about the entertainment. It was about art, right? When dudes was doing ciphers and they was rhyming and backpack rhyming, it was about life on the whole. Hip hop was not held in this small bubble. It gave it the flexibility to be huge and speak for many, many people. Hip hop is a genre that has. I saw a young brother rhyming about what was going on in Gamas. I was like, oh my gosh, you seeing this brother talk about it. So we created something that is global. Like the brother says, we don't own it, but it's many things that we created that we don't own. And I feel that it's 50 years of something. At some point, we have to pump the brakes and say, hold up, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? You know what I mean? I would love to talk so much more. Drugs has always been in hip hop, man. I mean, Curtis Blow's name is not Curtis Blow because he was blowing. He wasn't blow because he's Curtis Blow. I mean, you know, I'm 55, so I don't do the pause and all that. I'm a grandfather and all that, so I feel the freedom of speech. I really feel the freedom of speech, right? So Curtis Blow, he didn't do that, right? And then you have Rakim, and Rakim was one of the realest guys that you would ever want to lock into his team. But if you see the pictures and you see what's going on and you speak, Rakim give us 7 MCs and put them in a line. You follow what I'm saying? He talked about being a microphone fiend. It never was cool to talk about what you did. If you murdered somebody, you wasn't talking about it. Dudes wasn't talking about that. When Running and went on the road, they was real. I've been backstage. I've seen a lot of things. We got some guys that I know, and my brother over there can tell you. Rex and Effect, that's considered in hip hop as these nice dudes, you know, whatever, tore that industry up. Real dudes with real streets and wasn't rapping, not about killing or anything. Some of the toughest dudes that you would ever want to meet in Harlem. For real. Our brothers. Wasn't talking that. It was living at a high level. MC Hammer, living at a high level. Putting people on, and they was laughed at, but the idea is to be about business. I love you, brothers. I'm so proud of what you're doing. Thank you so much, brothers, for having me and allow me to speak with you and in your presence. There's so much more I would love to do at a later date. My brother that's rhyming back here with the studio behind you. I love it. You got me hyped up. I'm like, his brother, he's about to do his thing. I can't wait to hear the music from you. You beautiful brothers that has the podcast. You have a responsibility to make sure that you don't have a business as usual, we on here just talking junk podcast. You understand what I'm saying? That your platform, your platform is something that we all can be proud of. You know what I mean? And you brothers out there that's doing your work at the highest level in Kingston, brother, I can't wait to come out and lock in with you, man. I'm so proud of you and hear what you're doing. God bless you all. You can follow me. I like to say follow me, join me at Hoodvard University. That's HOODVARD. We'll talk about the line later on Instagram. You can join me as Melew Chace, MELEWCHACE on Instagram. And you can just rock with me on Facebook as Nutta, Butta, NUTTA, BUTTA, and you'll see the life that we're doing, the things that we're doing here. I'm in partnership with some great people here that I have the ability to come back to my own neighborhood, St. Nicholas Project, and we help to feed people in the community, not just food, but we're talking about creating meta labs and not just coding, but gaming systems and helping people who are incarcerated to come back from jail to live a life of prosperity and teaching and re-educating and doing those things. So it's not going to be easy. It is not easy because there's a lot of damage that is done. But with brothers like you and forums like you and people like us that really believe that we have a responsibility, it can be done. God bless you all, brother, on purpose with purpose. I hate to talk so long, but I know I just wanted to get those things out, and thank you for having me.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thanks for coming through. Hopefully we can get you on again.
I appreciate you, but we'll link up, man. I'll be back home.
Absolutely. Again, I'm sorry. Shout out to my brothers over at Live Redemption. God bless you all.
Peace. Man.
Yeah, so he definitely made some great points. I also wanted to we had this situation in hip hop with this artist. His name is D1. And he really sparked a lot of this conversation. He called out three notable artists in Jim Jones, Rick Ross, and Meek Mill. So I have a clip from him, and then after we watch the clip, then we're gonna kind of expound on that also. All right, so just give me 1 second. Let me pull the clip up here.
Let's go. Yo, with that being said, it's the OGs who I like to call DGs because they're disappointing grown-ups. That's what they are. It's the OGs in hip-hop. It's the ones that's 40-something years old. And, man, I hate when I see these gray-haired clout chasers who still talking about, and I send my young boys to come and wet your whole block up and da-da-da, and they still glorifying this. I look at what a Jim Jones, you could do better, brother. I love you too much. I love you too much to not be honest with you.
Everybody want to say that. Okay. That boy don't know me. I know his trick. You want to use my name for famous all good, but you don't know me. You don't know nothing about my life. I do more in 1 month for people than he'll ever do in his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I really give back to the people. I don't care about none of the rhetoric he's talking about. I grew up in the church. You're not going to do none of that to me. But I really do a lot for the people.
So, Pop, man, I'm gonna go. This is one of your.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch in, bro. Because you already know, bro. I'm touching in, man. Listen,
right.
Man.
So this is you from the same soil as this.
Jim. No, I'm saying it all about Jim. No, but listen what I'm saying. D1. So Joe Buttons just said something crazy on the podcast, right? Saying about yo, don't be saying nothing to about dudes that will come and kill you. He said this. This is Joe Buttons, right? Saying this to D1. Right. Now, I will say that D1 probably should have, set that differently, because the way he said it, like it doesn't matter if you street, you street. You know what I'm saying? And the street codes and everything you do. So the tone, the language, the how you present things does matter. It does matter. Now I think his point, I understand it, but you also I just think the delivery was kind of aggressive, and I think that's what people had felt. You understand what I'm saying on the responses and stuff, right? We just started talking about this on this show, on this podcast just now, right? I think Blizz talked about it, right? And when Blizz talked about how, the song comes out and the song is pushed out. But the individual, if I go to Quad and go to Quad in Newburn and talk to Quad on the block, that's not gonna get pushed out. We talking positive as hell. You understand what I'm saying? That's not gonna get pushed out. But if me and Quad go do a video and we like, yo, you know this, and then we pull Blizz up on the joint, and that's pushed. That's pushed. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that I love what I forgot who said something. Old boy who does the Instagram. He actually called Joe Butta out on this stuff and said, like, hey, Joe, you're pushing a narrative that we're not trying to go. Like, you know, even with you saying that, you know, if a person's not even thinking that to like you want to pop D1 and all that other stuff, you have now pushed a narrative to make it that. Instead of like, okay, if Blizz don't like what I say, then Blizz should be able to call me and be like, yo, Pop, I need to talk to you, bro. Let's talk. I didn't really like what you said and blah, blah, blah. Let's have that conversation. But we don't do that no more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just like, yo, you disrespected me, my dude, like blah, blah, blah. And then here we are. Because what D1 is saying is not wrong. I think how he said it, and this is just my opinion, I just think how he said it and how he presented. Like, we all grown men right here. If we talk to each other crazy, we gonna feel that energy, and it's gonna be on crazy time. But if I have a problem with Blizz or and I'm like, yo, Blizz, yo, bro, let me holler at you, man. So he know that I'm coming. I'm not coming on the energy like, yo, I want to get it in. I'm coming with the energy like, yo, bro, you can talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So our deliveries matters, man. And I think that's kind of where this is kind of going a little bit off at, in my opinion. I ain't gonna go on Jump Jones right now, but go ahead.
Well, do you think that go ahead, Quad, my fault.
No, I was just saying I didn't look at it at that like that. You make a good point saying it, like his delivery might have been, you know, a little off and everything. So I could agree with you on that, but at the same time, what he's talking about, I don't think that it deserved the response that Jim Jones gave. You know what I'm saying? As far as him saying that my little cousin might feel this way, or my family, like he wasn't saying anything like respectful to the point where you put hands on somebody, or even what Joe Butta said, you shouldn't talk about somebody getting killed. Like, what kind of sucker shit is that? Like, I don't even understand that kind of talk. Like, you can't say what the fuck you want. Not saying you can't say what you want to say, but you can't even say anything positive. You saying that, like, that don't even make sense. You know what I mean? So I agree with you though. Like, you know, his delivery might have been a little hard. You know, public.
But Minister Farrakhan been saying the same type of stuff for years, and they not coming at him crazy. Bro. He's not saying that they're gonna send his. He's not saying he's gonna send his cousin to smack Minister Farrakhan, and Minister Farrakhan can't speak on his name and all this crazy dumb shit.
Right.
Sorry, man. I just, touched the
nerve. Let me just say this, bro. Jim Jones, listen, man, this should get me so tight. But listen, man, let me tell you something. If you offended by the man saying like old gray haired dudes and the way he said it, you understand what I'm saying? Which, you know, these dudes get all emotional about it, and it's on public, it's on sway, it's very public, right? So this is where, you know, somebody could have said something on a lesser platform and they probably went nowhere like that. But now it's on this huge platform, everybody hears it, everybody knows, so everybody feel like they have to be G'd up. You understand what I'm saying? There's situations that I know personally that Jim was in, man. You understand what I'm saying? And it wasn't that, bro. And that's what I don't like. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I don't like. You know, and the reason why I say that is because, yes, your little cousins may feel away, and if you know your little cousins feel away, then go holler at your little cousins and say it ain't that energy. Let's go fix this up. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of saying like, you know, you throwing off your hat, you throwing off your scarf, you doing all this. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? Because if I see that energy, come on, bro. We on that time. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, where we is it that we on that energy? Or you sit here saying, well, let me holler at D1, let me educate D1. Well, D1, maybe you got a point. Let's do something together. Let's put it out there so we can change the narrative together. But it's never that when it comes to some of these dudes, bro.
True.
I'm gonna digress on that because man, that balls up my leg, whatever. But let's I'm gonna digress.
So yeah, to get back, I mean, I have some more clips that I want to play. We still got a little bit of time, so I'll get back to them. Do you guys think that there should be an age cutoff in hip hop? Do you feel like there's a certain age where hip hop artists need to change their content to be more mature? Is it, I'll leave it at that for right now.
Should be nothing to police that, man. There's no other genre of music that has any type of disclaimer that when you reach a certain age, you shouldn't say X, Y, Z. There's no other genre of music that does that, man. Listen. I think it was Quad that just said something. We grown. Like, we grown, bro. You know what I'm saying? You should know better. We just gotta know better, man. And here's the thing. This is the problem in our community, bro. And I apologize for going on this tangent, bro. But I'm gonna tell you why that clip aggravates me. It aggravated me. And even when I seen it weeks ago, it really bothered me. Because the problem with our community, bro, is that we cannot hold each other accountable without any type of drama, my nigga. Like that's the problem, bro. There's no other that I know of. Let me just say that. There's no other community that I know of that's successful or who've overcome oppression or whatever the case may be, that's not being held accountable by the people in their community. I'm not talking about white folks, Asians, Jews. I'm not talking about nobody else, because everybody else is going to talk about is going to talk about your own shit. But I'm talking about as a community. Why, if this man is saying, yo, I'm disappointed. I think he said what DG or something like that. Disappointed grown folks or something like
grown-ups.
Bro,
yeah.
That man did not say nothing. That man didn't say nothing to violate Jim, bro.
Right.
He didn't say nothing to violate that man. What the man is doing, he's passionate. And he's saying, yo, as a young man, he's recognizing that, yo, this is a problem. Like, you're one of the most prominent figures in the game. So he's expressing himself to you that, yo, bro, what you talking about is hurting our community. And like Pop says, your next move is to remove your shit and talk about your cousin. Bro, that's not real life. That's not real life. And I'm telling you, there's no man that should try to silence another man. So this is the problem that we have. This is the problem that we have, man, that our community, it's always drama. If some of us have an issue or we disagree, if I have a problem with anybody here on this panel, we should be able to have a conversation or a debate. It don't have to be an argument. There's a difference.
Right. Yeah, we do that all the time here. Signs of immaturity, man.
Bro, come on. Like you don't see nobody in rock and roll. You got people gray haired up in rock and roll singing the same shit they sang from the 70s.
Right.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody
dropped the album.
There's nobody saying nothing.
Yeah.
Right. There's nobody saying nothing. So listen, I don't care if you got the skill and you got the passion and the talent, yo, respect hip hop. Hip hop has the right to have pioneers in the game. But I think that it's imperative that our pioneers do have to set the example, bro. They have to set the example. And that's what's missing. They not setting the example. Or I think like what Pop just said, the ones that are setting the example, nobody's listening to. There's nobody hearing them. Could they not being spoken about?
Could it be by design that they trying to get rid of?
It's by design, bro. It's by design.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, Dolly Parton, I think was it Dolly Parton who just did it?
Yeah, she's like 108.
80, 70, how old is she, bro? You know what I'm saying? In a whole Cowboys uniform that looked crazy, but
facts.
Right.
It's Dolly. You understand what I'm saying? And they embrace it, So, like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just saying.
Yo, but Pop.
The thing is, when it comes to us, this the problem. When it comes to us, we first of all, we're so critical of us more than anybody else is. People understand us more than we understand us, and that's a problem. And that's a problem because the thing is, if all right, you got Blizz, right? Young Blizz come in and you got him going, and people, if Blizz hit the 50 and he still have the narrative and the energy to want to rap, why shouldn't he? Why shouldn't he? Why should that's his passion? That's his love. Obviously, if he's putting in the time, studio, you know, all the long hours, creativity.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
And then we look at ourselves. We want to look at ourselves like we shouldn't be doing this.
But there's always a situation where your regular life better be good money too, though.
Facts.
Like, don't be out here trying to chase no dream at that age, and your regular life ain't about shit.
But I think, but the point I was trying to make was, should the content change once you reach a certain age?
Yes.
So, you know, let's say a 22-year-old Styles P, when he made 100 graveyards in his rhymes, versus a 42-year-old Styles P,
right?
It should be a different tone and a different message, right?
Blizz made a point. Blizz made a great point the last time. Blizz made a great point where he was showing the analogy, the difference between an Eminem and an Andre 3000 or somebody else that's rapping, right? And here's the thing, bro. The content is not as impactful for an Eminem's audience because it does not affect them as much as it affects us.
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying? So Eminem could get away with talking about suicide and putting his girl in the trunk and kidnapping their daughter and shit like that. We can't afford.
A black person would never.
Huh? We cannot afford. First of all, we would never think about, and there's no disrespect, but black folks don't think about shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? So Eminem is rapping about his mental experience, but he can afford to do that because you know what white folks gonna do? They're gonna pick his ass up and put him in a box with us. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna put him in a box with us. So where our age has to show as we get older, we have to understand, like I think Tyrone said it, we gotta understand the impact of what we doing. We have to recognize our influence. We have to recognize our influence as leaders. Sometimes you don't want to be a role model, but a lot of times you don't have a choice whether you're a role model or not.
Sometimes
you don't got a choice. So once you identify that you're in that spot, if Blizz, and I'm praying for my bro, Blizz get to that point where he's a household name, I'm hoping that Blizz will say, yo, look, now my influence is worldwide. That comes with a completely different responsibility. And if you don't take on that responsibility, then you are to be held accountable. It's nobody else. It's you. It's on you.
So I want to say this too. You know what? So we were talking about looking crazy, right? You know what looked crazy to me on that video you just showed, Dua? When Jim Jones took his hat off and did that.
No, that was the craziest part.
Like this is a prime example, bro. You're 50-something years old and you're doing this again. Still. So that's a prime example of why, yes, as we do age, bro. You know, I'm knocking on 50 door. I can't do that stuff I used to do, like I used to do. You know, when you heard me and Nut on the thing, we was reminiscing about old stuff, but we can't do that no more. Yep. You understand what I'm saying? It won't make sense. You understand what I'm saying? So yes, as we age, we have to, balance it out to that fits our present time. I actually think Jay-Z do a good job at that. You understand what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z do a great job, at that. He still has his tone, he still has everything, but you can see the maturity and you can hear the maturity in it. So yeah, I do think it should change in time as time goes.
Yeah, there's a few artists that are displaying their maturity. Like Nas just dropped 6 albums back to back. Killer Mike came out with an album earlier this year that was talking about I don't know if anybody listened to that album. Like,
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, that album is fire to me.
Yeah, I heard it.
You know, he's talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Like, man, he on man time on that album.
Facts.
He's
like
but
the
yeah, there's a couple artists that's stuck in time though too, that you know, the ones that I guess we talking about right now, and be holding them accountable and stuff, like a Jim Jones, I guess you would say. But even with Jimmy, I gotta give him his props too, because there's certain music that he has dropped where he spoke on certain things where I was surprised. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of shocked me, like, oh shit, he doesn't just rap about gangs and shit like that. Like he's talking some shit. You know what I mean? But I think the content wise, altogether in hip hop and everything, like when you reach a certain age, you do have to start talking about, like, you know, things that's really happening in your life, like Bliss said earlier, like things that's really, like, you know, talk about your bills kicking your ass, maybe, you know what I'm saying, like, so you can sound human or whatever. Or you know, like AZ, I just was listening to AZ album. I really didn't like it like that and everything, but I had to remember this ain't Sugar Hill AZ, you know what I'm saying? This is 30 years later AZ and everything. So I had to put that in context too. So sometimes it's the fans' fault too, where they think they're gonna keep continuing getting the same, you know, graphic detail from 95, and it's not the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So I had to listen with different ears and put my grown man ears on, and not, you know, expecting Sugar Hill AZ to come out and everything. So, but yeah, I just think that the content wise though, rappers need to, like, you know, there should be that line where I'm gonna talk about this. You know, Jay-Z said no more jerseys, it's button ups now. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people followed it at that time and everything. It's looking crazy, you know what I'm saying? But they changed their dress code and everything, you know what I mean? So if you got that much inspiration to do that and everything, do so, because it's definitely failing a lot with immaturity in the game right now. So that's all I gotta say about that though.
So what y'all think about the 9-year-old rapper then?
I think he's bugged out already.
All right. What I gotta say, because we should bring that up right now, since we talk about this type of situation. Like, that probably has everything to do with what we talk about. But my thing is, like, Bow Wow was the same kid when we were growing up. My era, as that 9-year-old kid, Bow Wow was around gang members and strip clubs, and it wasn't like, maybe the internet wasn't so crazy back then. It wasn't like they wasn't shaming them.
A lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, but you gotta think.
So to the internet,
yeah. So you gotta think. You know, like this what you said, Blizz. If you had the opportunity to, like the knowledge that you have right now, knowing what you know as a grown man, as a dad, and everything, what would your mindset be right now if you was that 9-year-old kid with that type of understanding right now?
I wouldn't have no 9-year-old kid doing that, gang.
No, I'm just saying, because this is the thing. Like, I just seen a video where they had a party for a bunch of kids, and they had the kids. I'm talking about what, 5-year-old, 4-year-old, 6-year-olds, and I don't know if y'all seen it in the video. They was flipping the money. Little girls was twerking, and the other little boys was like they was the rappers. I mean, these are little kids.
The birthday party,
and it was a birthday party, yo, and they was like, you know, just doing all this. So we already teaching them. You know, and at the age of 6, if you could do your research on that. But at the age of 6, as a developing mindset of a developing mind, you know, starting right there at that period of time and bringing in those flashes, those young kids will forever remember that. That lifestyle will be embedded in them forever.
My thing
and
is,
that will be something that they will be chasing. You know, if nobody kind of get in there and correct it.
What about the kids that could switch it up, like everything, like say, like, because rapping is like acting, you know what I mean? So what about the kids who they have that age that rap about that, but they do their school work and this and that? How do you feel about that? Like, what do you think about that?
No, so I don't want to sound hypocritical. I think, like, to what Nut was saying earlier, this is back to being an artist, right? It's an art. Like when you doing your song, it's an art, bro. You are there to entertain. You are there to perform. You created this art.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That should never say, you never have to say that that's who you is.
Yeah.
Because when you put your art out there, that's the entertainment for us to listen to enjoy. That's what you created.
Yeah, but
I'm
bro,
saying the kids at that age, the kids like 9-year-olds and 8-year-olds, the same shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. I feel that way too, though.
Bro, but we gotta. But here's the thing. I think we gotta be responsible though, Pop. Like, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Right? I remember my daughter singing a Cardi B song, and she kept singing this part where I think Cardi B, I'm paraphrasing here, but I think Cardi B said, "I don't cook, I don't clean," or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I heard my daughter singing that, as a father now, I had to inject myself and say, "Yo, what's that you singing? What who sing that? Right? Who's rapping that?" Right. And she was like, "Cardi B." And I had to ask the question, you believe that? Do you believe that that's accurate? Do you believe that she not cooking or cleaning for her husband? Do you believe that? Now keep in mind, we go back and forth, right? I want to say maybe a few weeks or maybe a month later, we see a video where they showing side by side that she's singing that song and she in there sweeping and cooking food. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Now she also had another video. I'm gonna show you. And this is where I'm talking about accountability. I'm gonna show you something right now. Another video. I forgot what her husband's name. Offset. That's her husband, right?
Yep.
Offset. Offset had their daughter, and she was playing music on live. Yo, in the middle of the live, she's like, "Yo, take the baby out. I don't want the baby listening to this music."
That's crazy.
Now, you tell me now. Now she's living a responsible life, apparently, right? Yeah. But this is what I'm saying, Blizz. Like, it's not okay, bro. Like, the thing is that we have to understand that outside of our lives, we cannot control how people interpret the music, that the information that we sending out. You feel what I'm saying? We can't. Even if we do it perfectly, we can't control that. So to be irresponsible and say certain things that you know is not right, it's gonna hurt our community. Like I said, our community is suffering from these things more than any other community. Our community is suffering from our men being disrespected, our women being disrespected. Rape is at an all-time high in our community. Violence, gun violence, all of these things, bro. So when you're an artist and you create an art, you have to create the art consciously to say, "Yo, I have a responsibility to those who's listening." Because ain't nobody, when I'm listening to any like Killer Mike, the Busta Rhymes, whatever the case, when I'm listening to anybody, I am not Googling their life after I listen to their album, right, to see if what they're saying is true.
Gotta match it up.
There's nobody doing that.
You got it. So here go the twofold to that, right? When 80s baby. So you had Different Strokes, Facts of Life. You had the Jetsons, the Jeffersons, all this stuff. It was a created reality. A created reality. Half of them had depression. They was on drugs. They was doing all types of stuff, but you didn't see that on TV. Right. This is the difference. This is the difference. I am supposed, my job as a parent is to teach my son, I don't care what you see. I'm here to prepare you for about what you know. Because if the influence is to everything that you see is going to influence you, then you're done. You're done off. Right. You're done off. Because then you shouldn't be watching TV. You shouldn't be on no social media. You shouldn't be doing anything if it has that much control of you, where you not being, that's why it's our responsibility to teach common sense. Because the reality of the entertainment world, it was never about reality. It was never about. It was about entertainment,
Right.
and that's what we have to understand. So it is your job. I don't care what Cardi B put out there. I don't care what anybody put out there, but it is my job to make sure that my child understand. You better not inherit that. If you can self-divide yourself from having that in entertainment to not bringing it into your world as a reality, then you can't be a part of it. No, it ain't happening. So what I'm trying to say is that when we look at everything that from our time in the 80s, none of that shit was reality, bro. None of that shit. Now, if we let it indulge us till it control us, then that's on us.
Yeah, I
Because
like that. Yeah.
We ain't built ourselves, bro. We ain't built ourselves to differ from what we see and hear, to have it control us so much that it actually leads our life.
Because I feel what she's saying. Because John Wick is not making me think I'm some type. I watch John Wick. I'm not going outside thinking that I'm going to take down the whole army of people and stuff. I feel you, man. I feel you. But we got to get out of here soon because we do have another interview at 7. So, but before we do that, we had this last point that I wanted to touch on with you guys.
Very good show too, by the way.
Definitely, absolutely. We got to do more stuff like this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I appreciate having us, man.
I love that. So every major artist is connected with a brand of liquor in this day and age. Do you guys think that rappers are helping the community by displaying entrepreneurship, or are they hurting the community by distributing what would be called poison directly to the people who look like them? You know, Nas is linked up with Hennessy. Jay-Z has Deuce of Spades, Ace of Spades. Deuce, Ace of Spades. Puffy has Ciroc, Ludacris, Conjure. Rick Ross has Bel Air. So how do you guys feel about that?
I don't have no problem with that, bro. Because what I thought was crazier was when sports started getting into the alcohol. You know what I mean? Started promoting alcohol. That's what I always look weird at. I don't got no problem with the rappers being involved with that. No way. No way.
I'll say this to that too. Kind of to what Biz that. Listen, I have never heard of an artist or entertainer anyway be the reasons of why somebody became an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Get your money. Okay. You're not responsible for the. Listen, bro. If people can't control their intake, it's not because of the rapper. It's not because of the rapper. If they can't control their intake and they can't control what's going on, it's not because of the person, man. So what I'm saying is that I can never, and I will never tell nobody, to not put their name on something, get their money. It ain't like putting your name on heroin. That's that's different, right? That this is alcohol that's sold in local stores. So get your money, do what you got to do, because they're not the reason why people are alcoholics or anything else that that's happening. It's a brand. It's they sell it. That's just my thought on it.
With or without.
Okay. Correct.
How do you feel? Go ahead, Kwa.
I think I'm looking at the question wrong. Not that anybody can control their intake or anything like that, but I think like the sponsorship of Nas and Hennessy, they're using Nas. Hennessy is using Nas to attract to the liquor brand. So Nas drinks Hennessy. I want to drink Hennessy. Jay-Z's got Deuce and Ace of Spades. I have to drink Ace of Spades. I gotta live this certain lifestyle. I think that it's dope that the entrepreneurship of hip hop, rise to respectable brand names and everything. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's hurting the kids and the that's not fully developed. They're not gonna become businessmen like these guys. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna reach the level of like that by drinking every weekend. Oh, we got Pop Douce in the club every weekend. oh, we got Pop Spade in the club, or we got to drink Hennessy in the club because, you know, Martin knows he has a club, bar, restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say that people spend their life savings there or anything like that, but people come there and drink their sorrows sometimes. You know, not everybody, but people drink their sorrows at the bar and everything. And a lot of it is trying to live a certain lifestyle that these rappers presented to them. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm going to go here in front, get on the gram. You know, oh, I got Duce. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I got Ace of Spades. They fronting. You know, it's just another way of fronting and everything. And it's kind of like a catch-22 with that. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see exactly like what everybody else thought and everything when I wrote that question.
Yeah, but Quara, what you say about this? About I'm sorry, I know we got to go. But where does the accountability falls in that? You know, this is why we talking about accountability, right? Because let's just say Nas probably don't even drink at all. Let's just say none of these artists probably don't even drink at all. But because of the business, right? It's the business of it. This is the business, and they're making such and such amount of money on it by doing a commercial or whatever. You know, they doing it. That's their business. That's what they're gonna do. Now, when we watch this thing and we say, well, oh, we just saw Nas on there drinking Henny and blah blah blah, and then that's gonna entice me to go drink Henny. Mm-hmm. Where's the accountability at though? Where does that lie in your opinion as far as the individuals?
It definitely lies on the individual all around. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that the influence of, you know, Hennessy being in your face all day on the commercials, you know what I'm saying, and Nas, whether he raps or not, you know what I'm saying, you're influenced by Nas, like damn, you know what I'm saying, like I gotta step my shit up, you know, so I'm drinking cheap cognac, I gotta drink some Hennessy, you know what I'm saying, you can't go outside, you can't go to the liquor store and buy a $2 bottle of cognac, like damn, you go lounge, you know what I'm saying.
I think
Go ahead, Martin.
So I agree with you totally, bro. But I also agree with Pop. I mean, here's the thing. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneurship, I'm all for it. Get your money. But I think that we got to touch on what Dr. Umar just said earlier, right? There's something called irresponsible entrepreneurship, and then there's something called direct needs entrepreneurship, right? So what do our community need? Every hood, you can find a liquor store, you can find a church, right? Every hood, you can find it. Does our community need more liquor? You know what I'm saying? I doubt that I doubt it. But at the same time, our communities, we don't have any black-owned schools. We don't have any black-owned supermarkets. We don't got any. So what I'm saying is that's focus. That's direct focus entrepreneurship. And that's what he's talking about. What he's talking about is that we constantly let our oppressors become our puppet masters. Right. And that's why he's talking about that hip hop has now become the face of white supremacy, because that's kind of what he's talking about. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Just imagine as a you know, look at the impact that Killer Mike is having sponsoring a bank, a black-owned bank. Right. Nobody talk about that. You feel what I'm saying? But those are the things that you gotta. Those are the things that we're talking. I'm gonna say this last thing and I'm gonna be done. I think Pop brought up Jay-Z earlier, and there was a survey that they was having. If you had a chance to get $500,000 or have dinner with Jay-Z, which would you choose? And mad people was saying, oh, sit down with Jay-Z and have that conversation because it could be worth more than $500,000. When they interviewed Jay-Z about that, Jay-Z was like, you better get your $500,000 because in my 11 albums, I gave you the game. So get your money and listen to I already told you the game. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to hold our community, a few billionaires, few millionaires, whoever it is, we got to hold them accountable, bro. We don't need no more liquor, bro. We don't need no more sneakers. We don't need no more barbershops. We don't need no more eyelashes. We don't need no more wigs. We don't need no more of that shit.
Yeah.
We don't need no more of that.
Yeah. No disrespect. I think, bro, he pocket watching too much, man. Stop worry about what they doing with their money, man. For real. They going back and giving out stuff. That's what they doing, man. They not entitled to do none of that. None of it.
We're not talking about entitlement, bro.
But they go and do it, bro. Like
but we're not saying not to, though. We're not saying not to. We're talking about accountability and responsibility.
But what he also saying is what they should do with their money. Like, come on, man.
Bro, no. Listen, remember, we're not talking about what they're gonna do with their money, bro. We're talking about what you represent. Bro, listen, let me tell you something. I get it. Nobody watching their pockets, bro. No, I'm not watching nobody pockets.
I'm talking about him.
Huh?
I'm talking about him, not you. Because he's like he's.
Oh, you talking about Dr. Umar?
Yeah, it's like he's just getting famous and views off of pocket watching. I don't like that.
But let me ask you a question. Is he telling the truth?
Yeah, he is. But I'm just saying it don't need to be said, bro. Like just they don't.
Why that don't need to be said, bro?
Why does it? It ain't about to help nothing. You just about to get
bro. Yo, Blizz. Blizz, let me ask you a question. You an artist, bro. Can you imagine if we held ourselves accountable to support you the way you need to be supported?
But I also can't
I'm talking about as a community. Right. Imagine if we supported you. Imagine if the community supported you the way they were supposed to support you. Bro, you can't say that. We have to be accountable for each other, bro. Because as a community, we suffering, my nigga. Like that's the reality. That's the reality. We can't be quiet on shit like that.
It ain't always about getting rich. You gotta have some kind of responsibility.
So the community's because they not getting banks and schools and all that.
Bro, you know the importance of that, bro. You know the importance.
They're literally helping the people who can't. They're literally helping the people who can't eat for the day. So you think that them getting
my nigga
gotta be so let me say this and really in sports, right? All these even LeBron James, you think about all the top sports players there is. They have signed contracts where if you were in the NFL, you were a sports player, NBA sports player, baseball, you have signed a contract and you are a maximum player, you're a superstar. You signed a contract where they within certain amount of times within the year, you have to go to where they send you to go to do a visit, to do a pop-up, to promote it, to do all that other stuff. And it's never about their communities. Those major entities will never send them to their communities. Nope. It's always to something that they're already tied into. Right. So you gotta understand that's very important, bro. Like you gotta understand like what's being said is it is real. Because when you gotta ask yourself, here go a question I'm gonna ask you. Why you think they destroyed the Black Wall Street?
These niggas was getting too powerful.
But why? But you got you know. So here it is. You got Asian America, right? They didn't never destroy nothing here in the Asian community. They did not bomb that. They did not do all that. You have the Jewish communities here. They ain't bomb that. They ain't do all of that. It seems to always be the Black communities when we're striving or we coming together to build something, we are under attack. And we have over trillions of dollars. He
was making this point.
Trillions of dollars, that goes yearly, and we don't have our own banks. We don't have our own schools. We don't have we should have truth be told, Blizz, we should already have a system, a network for you to go ahead and go and do your arts, do your craft, and get your stuff off. If we was doing it right, you shouldn't have to worry about paying for studio time and doing all that other. We should have a network already for you to just go ahead and do your stuff. But we don't. So that's kind of what Umar is talking about. Like, the things that we should be doing, with the money, because it's not, as you said, it's not that we don't have money. We have money. But we are not putting it in the right places to benefit people like you and me and all of us. And that's the problem.
If I continue to feed you, when I decide to stop, you're gonna starve. That's the reality. You understand what I'm saying? And we need independence. We need to own our own shit. We don't want nobody to feed us. We don't want listen, teach me how to fish, bro. So I can do it on my own. So I can eat whenever I want to eat. And that's the thing. That's the part that he's talking about. That the things that we need as a community, bro. I'm telling you, people be talking about revolutions and all of that. If any of that happened, we done. We fish pace.
Facts.
We done. We ain't ready for none of that. We ain't ready for no revolution. We ain't ready for none of that. We can't control our own food. Most of us can't grow food. Most of us don't know science. Most of us can't educate each other. We can't do none of that. And yet we still feeding in and making other people rich. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a big responsibility when we, like what Pop said, when you talk about sports and you talk about music, we have to be a lot more responsible in these genres, man. We have to.
I agree.
Yeah. So we're gonna end it on that point right there. I definitely want to thank you, brothers, for coming through, man. Let's do this again. We'll talk behind the scenes. So this is 845 The Mix Show, State of the Hip Hop Roundtable. The topic today was accountability. It's your boy DJ Duya, Blizz, Connected Qua, and our special guest MD, and my boy Pop. And we out of here, man. Thanks again, y'all.
All right, appreciate you. Pop, holla.